As we are all acquainted, Independence Day is being celebrated every year to pay tribute to India's freedom fighters and leaders who fought for our freedom, and this day marks as a dynamic reminder of our nation's liberation from British colonial rule after nearly 2 centuries. As a part of commemoration of this day, let us usher these celebrations. Now I take the honor to request Milord, the Honorable Chief Justice, Dhiraj Singh Thakur ji, to hoist the national flag, followed by national anthem and police flag.
Yes, ready.
Ji, Mrs. Thakur ji, Honorable Judges and their families, Learned Advocate General, Mr. D. Srinivas, Learned Additional Advocate General E. Sambasiv Pratap, Learned Chairman of Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, N. Dwarkanath Reddy, and members of the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Learned Senior Advocates, brothers and sister advocates, Honorable the Registrar, Judicial Officers, the Executive Committee of AP High Court Advocates Association, the President AP High Court Staff Association Mr. A. Venugopal, other invitees, ladies and gentlemen, and also print and electronic media. On behalf of AP High Court Advocates Association, I welcome you all to celebrate Independence Day, and happy Independence Day to one and all. What if the leaders of our freedom struggle had never embraced change? Would we be standing here today celebrating our independence? In 1929, the Lahore Congress declared complete independence as its goal. This bold shift in direction, championed by leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi, was a pivotal moment in our history. Before this, the Indian National Congress had sought dominion status within the British Empire, aiming for gradual political reform. However, the declaration of complete independence marked a radical departure from this approach, signaling an unwavering demand for full sovereignty. This decisive embrace of change galvanized the nation. It unified diverse groups under a common goal and infused the freedom struggle with renewed vigor and clarity. The Lahore Congress's declaration was not just a statement, it was a commitment to a new vision of India's future, free from colonial rule. This commitment to change laid the groundwork for monumental movements and events that followed. The Salt March, the Quit India movement, and the eventual negotiations for independence were all fueled by this foundational shift. These movements mobilized millions, challenged colonial authority, and demonstrated the power of collective action. While the broader narrative of India's independence is widely known, there are numerous lesser known anecdotes that highlight the diverse and localized efforts across the nation. In the early 20th century, the small town of Tenali became a hotbed for the independence movement in Andhra Pradesh. A young lawyer named Konda Venkatappaya, known for his formidable legal acumen, emerged as a significant figure in the region. Venkatappaya used his legal expertise to challenge unjust British laws and support local peasants in their fight against oppressive policies. His efforts were instrumental in mobilizing the rural population and integrating them into the larger national movement. His dedication to justice and his ability to use the law as a tool for resistance demonstrated how legal minds could catalyze social change. Another compelling anecdote involves the town of Chirala Perala, which witnessed a unique form of protest in 1920. The British authorities decided to merge these two towns and impose a heavy tax on the residents. The townspeople, led by freedom fighter Duggirala Gopalakrishnaya, decided to collectively refuse to pay tax and vacated their homes in protest. This act of civil disobedience, known as the Chirala Perala struggle. This struggle forced the British to repeal the tax and demonstrated the power of collective resistance. Gopalakrishnaya's leadership and the unity of the townspeople exemplified how local resistance could challenge colonial authority and inspire broader change. These stories highlight the diverse ways in which change was enacted at the grassroots level, contributing to the larger national movement. They remind us that significant change often begins with small, localized efforts and that every individual contribution is vital in the broader struggle for justice and freedom. The significance of India's independence extended far beyond its borders. It signaled the end of an era of colonial and marked the beginning of a new chapter in world history. The successful realization of Indian sovereignty inspired numerous colonies in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean to pursue their own paths to freedom. Countries such as Indonesia, Ghana, Kenya, and many others looked to India as a beacon of hope and a blueprint for their liberation struggles. The Indian independence movement highlighted the universal values of justice, equality, and self-determination. It underscored the idea that freedom is a fundamental right of all people, regardless of their geographic location or crucial background. The wave of decolonization that followed in the mid-20th century can be traced back the spirit and courage displayed by the Indian people. This victory served as a catalyst encouraging oppressed nations to resist, and reclaim their sovereignty. Today, we find ourselves in a similar era of transformation. The challenges we face may differ in form, but the essence remains the same. The fight against climate change, the struggle for human rights, the battle for gender equality, and the demand for socio-economic justice all echo the spirit of past movements. Just as the Indian independence movement was a collective effort, our present challenges require a united front. The lessons from history teach us the change is possible when individuals come together with a shared vision and unwavering resolve. We have always been vanguard of change, as evidenced by landmark reforms such as the Abolition of Untouchability Act 2017, Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, the Dowry Prohibition Act, the 23rd and 24th Constitutional Amendments, the Right to Education Act, Goods and Services Act, the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplaces Act, the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act, Decentralization of Homosexuality, the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act, the Triple Talaq Bill, the Aadhaar Act and the farm laws. All this happened because we have right from the beginning championed the change required in society. Each reform reflected our evolving values and commitment to justice and equality. The journey towards justice and equality is ongoing, and the dispensation of justice in our country faces significant challenges, and we gather here to address that critical pillar of our democracy, the dispensation of justice. India's justice system, with a rich heritage, with its rich heritage and deep-rooted values, stands at a crucial juncture, poised for significant transformation. Justice is not merely a legal principle; it is a moral cornerstone of our society. Our justice system aims to protect the innocent, punish the guilty, and uphold the right of all citizens. However, our system faces significant challenges, from lengthy days to overcrowded prisons, which hinder its ability to deliver timely and fair justice. Over 75% of Indians' prison population are under trialers, highlighting the urgency of systematic reforms. The ratio of judges to the public in India is alarmingly low, contributing to the backlog of cases. As per the target recommended by Law Commission's 1987 report, recommending 50 judges per million people, presently the judge population ratio in the country works out to be approximately 21 judges per million population, with more than 40% of cases taking over 3 to more than 3 years to resolve. The demand for an increased judicial workforce is critical. This shortage not only delays justice but also diminishes the quality of judicial outcomes. Therefore, there is every need to enhance the present judges' strength of the High Court of AP and to fill up all the vacancies forthwith. The delay in the Indian justice system are multifaceted. Key reasons include an absence of prescribed time limit for case disposal, raising case backlogs, and resistance of digital migration. A 2018 strategy paper by Niti Aayog predicted it would take 324 years to clear the backlog of pending cases at the current disposal rate. Retired Supreme Court Judge Markandeya Kadju was even more pessimistic, estimating 360 years if new cases were filed. Since then, the backlog has increased by over 60%. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated these delays, making the need for reforms even more pressing. However, to address these issues, several measures can be implemented. The recent introduction of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam may make a significant step towards modernization of our legal framework. These laws aim to incorporate technological advancement, enhance the admissibility of electronic and DNA evidence, and introduce community service as form of punishment. The establishment of virtual courts, e-filing systems, and the National Judicial Data Grid are progressive steps towards a more efficient judicial process. These initiatives are already helping reduce delays and improve access to justice. Expanding the number of judges and ensuring a balanced workload can significantly reduce case backlogs and expedite the justice delivery process. Enhancing the capacity of legal aid services ensure that justice is accessible to all, especially the marginalized and economically disadvantaged sections of society. By embracing these changes, we can ensure that justice is not only done, but it seems to be done, thereby restoring public trust and upholding the sanctity of our democratic values. Changes like the metamorphosis of a butterfly, slow, challenging, but ultimately beautiful and essential for growth. And our legal profession is a river, constantly flowing, shaping and being shaped by its surroundings. Change is not just inevitable, it is the bedrock of our progress. What change will you champion today to ensure a better tomorrow for our nation? I leave this question to your able thought. Let us honor our past by forging a future that reflects the best of what we can become. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
We are thankful to Sri K. Chidambaram Garu for having delivered his Independence Day message. May I now request Sri Dwarakanath Reddy Garu, Chairman Bar Council, to deliver his message.
Honorable Chief Justice Dhiraj Singh Thakur ji, Madam Thakur ji, all the Honorable High Court judges who came here for this function and their families, the Advocate General Mr. Srinivas Garu, Learned Advocate General, and Learned President of the Bar Association, Mr. Chidambaram Garu, the staff of the Honorable High Court, my dear advocates, ladies and gentlemen, invitees, and also the students of Ghantasala Music College who came here just now. Bharat is a nation of 5,000 years old, with hoary past, with hoary glory. From the days of Vedic period, this nation is a beautiful country. Many onslaught on this country by foreign yoke. And because of this foreign yoke, there was many a battle, not only on the eastern front, western front and southern front of this Bharat. Later on, and thousands of people and lakhs of people, for generations together, for decades together, fought for the independence of this nation. The situation is so calamitous at that time. By the time Mahatma Gandhi ji entered into this field of independence celebrations or independence fighting, what the Mahatma ji thought it? Can we ask all the people of the India to go for a violent method against the British yoke? Or can we have a non-violence movement in this country? By the time Mahatma ji and Nehru ji thought together, read about the French Revolution and also Russian Revolution, and thought it better that for this vast country, it is better to have a non-violence movement by way of a satyagraha. On the other hand, many of the revolutionaries thought it that we cannot send these British people from this country. The only method which we can send them out from this country is only by way of violence. Subhash Chandra Bose ji, when he was in Burma in the year 1944, he made a call to the entire Indian people and also Indian army at the time, Indian National Army. Give me blood, I am ready to give freedom to all of you. That was the nature. But what the totality of the Indian independence movement was, we are ready to die for the sake of the India, but let the India live. That was the famous slogan by the Indian people themselves, not by any leader. So such is the situation in those days. But ultimately, with the sacrifice of lakhs and lakhs of people, those who lost their properties, and the government has taken their properties and lost their professions, and many of them were jailed. Ultimately, we got independence. As a Bar Council chairman, if I want to say about my advocates, it is a sin. You know very well, the movement of the entire independent movement was led by many of the advocates. Many of them was goiled. Many of them lost their profession. And many of them fought for the other prisoners' liberty in the courts. That was the advocacy of our advocate community in the entire India. There was a saga of advocates who participated in the freedom movement. There are many who fought for the sake of the nation. What I like to say this day, we have to remember all of them, all the freedom fighters who fought for the sake of the nation and also who sacrificed their. We have to salute all of them and we have to remember them. And particularly when on 14th August 1947 in the Constituent Assembly, Jawaharlal Nehru said, "The tryst with destiny. When the entire world sleeps, India awakes to freedom." So now we are celebrating the 78th Independence Day with a joyful mood. That joy, behind that joy, there are so much of lakhs and lakhs of people, those who lost their properties and jailed by the British yoke. Now I'll just go back to Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji. What Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji says, freedom is my birthright. Now what common people of this country is now saying, the constitution is our birthright. The philosophy of the constitution is our birthright. The right to property is our birthright. The peace and tranquility in the society is our birthright. And what not? The freedom and the human rights is our birthright. This is the common people. Until the people of all types of people, let it be poor or any people, if they come up their lives to a level of at least a middle class people, then the purpose of freedom is lost. This is a day of dedication to the entire persons who participated in the freedom movement. We dedicate ourselves for the national pride. You are aware of it. Now we joined in the club of 145 crores of Indian people. Let us all 145 people make a vow that we make this particular country a Bharat, a superpower in this world. Thank you, Chief Justice, for giving this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sri Dwarkanadhi Garu, for your delightful message. May I request Sri Dammalapati Srinivas Garu, Learned Advocate General of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to convey his message on the jubilant day.
Honorable Chief Justice Dhiraj Singh Thakur ji, Honorable Companion Judges, Judicial Officers, the Chairman and Bar Council, Members of Bar Council, the Deputy Solicitor General of India, the Additional Solicitor General of India, the Additional Advocate General, the Public Prosecutor, the President AP High Court Advocates Association, Senior Counsel and Law Officers, members of legal fraternity and esteemed colleagues. My colleagues and I extend our warmest greetings and heartfelt good wishes to each of you. We warmly welcome you to join us in celebrating the spirit of Independence Day together. As we gather here today under the grandeur of our national flag to commemorate the 78th Independence Day through celebrations, parades and national pride, let us remember Sri Pingal Venkaiah, a freedom fighter and the designer of our national flag. Born near Machilipatnam, Krishna district, Andhra Pradesh, Sri Pingal Venkaiah designed and presented the first version of national flag at a two-day crucial session of All India Congress Committee held at Vijayawada on 31st March and 1st April 2021, and it was adopted its present form during a meeting of Constituent Assembly on 22nd July 1947. There is no doubt that our constitutional and democratic framework is a true reflection of the ethos embodied in our Triranga. Every year as we celebrate this day, I am reminded of our nation's humble and spiritual roots. Our great republic was built by leaders from diverse backgrounds, united by a shared vision of freedom, justice and progress. Though they faced many challenges, they laid the foundation of a strong and independent India that has withstood the test of time, that is our Constitution of India. The magnificent edifice which as the supreme law of the land has been providing the base and the source for the governance of our country for about 75 years now. As this time of year, it is only fitting to revisit Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's historic speech, Tryst with the Destiny. Every word spoken, every sentiment expressed, every hope and aspiration shared, every caution offered, and every pledge suggested in that speech remains as relevant today as it was 78 years ago. It is an opportunity to reflect on the journey we have traversed and reaffirm our commitment to the values of liberty, justice and equality that unite us as a people. India has made remarkable strides politically, socially and economically, excelling in fields such as science, industry, education and culture. Notably, if I may humbly add, our legal system has also evolved, reflecting the values, traditions and ethos that define us. Each of us has the responsibility to strengthen our country and our institution. We play a vital role in safeguarding citizens' rights and enhancing their quality of life. As the judiciary is called upon to address intellectual challenges and diverse legal issues than what was imagined 7 decades ago, the mounting arrears, though a cause for concern, only reflects the people's faith in the rule of law. To uphold this trust, those within the justice system must lead by example. As we look to the future, let us work together, lawyers, honorable judges and citizens, to strengthen our judicial system, striving for a judiciary that is efficient, accessible and embodies fairness, integrity and justice. I call upon the future generation, especially the young and aspiring in the legal fraternity, to work with compassion, mindfulness and above all in accordance with their conscience, to lead our nation towards a better society. No Independence Day is complete without honoring a reverence those who fought for our freedom, led by our father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who sacrificed so much to make our independence a reality. Today, as we celebrate our freedom, let us pledge to uphold the values of unity, peace and progress envisioned by our forefathers. May our motherland remain a beacon of hope, inspiring nations worldwide, and may our diverse culture continue to shine as a source of strength and unity. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Learned Advocate General, for his reflective message. Prior to the much awaited message of my Lord the Honorable Chief Justice, it is a time for patriotic songs by the students of Government College of Music and Dance, Vijayawada. Firstly, they will sing the song Ma Telugu Talliki, which is the state song of Andhra Pradesh. The Telugu Talli is portrayed as a symbol of Telugu people, and it represents the emotions of the people of Andhra Pradesh towards their state. It was written by Sri Sankarambadi Sundarachari Garu. After Ma Telugu Talliki song, the students will sing the Hindi song Sare Jahan Se Acha, which means better than the entire world is our Hindustan, that's India, where it's nightingales and it's our garden abode. May I request the students to sing the songs.
మా తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూల మంగళహారతులు కడుపులో బంగారు కనుచూపులో కరుణ కడుపులో బంగారు కనుచూపులో కరుణ చిరునవ్వులో సిరులు దొరలించు మా తల్లి మా తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళహారతులు గలగల గోదారి కదలిపోతుంటేను విరవిరా కృష్ణమ్మ పరుగులెడుతుంటేను గలగల గోదారి కదలిపోతుంటేను బిరబిరా కృష్ణమ్మ పరుగులెడుతుంటేను బంగారు పంటలే పండుతాయి మురిపాల ముత్యాలు దొరలుతాయి మా తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళహారతులు అమరావతి నగర అపురూప శిల్పాలు త్యాగయ్య గొంతులో తారాడు నాదాలు తిక్కయ్య కలములో తీయందనాలు నిత్యమై నిఖిలమై నిలిచియుండేదాకా రుద్రమ్మ భుజ శక్తి మల్లమ్మ పతి భక్తి తిమ్మర సుధియుక్తి కృష్ణరాయని కీర్తి మా చెవులరుగుమని మారు మ్రోగేదాకా నీ ఆటలే ఆడుతా నీ పాటలే పాడుతా జై తెలుగు తల్లి జై తెలుగు తల్లి జై తెలుగు తల్లి. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी ये गुलसिता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा पर्वत वो सबसे ऊंचा हमसाया आसमान का पर्वत वो सबसे ऊंचा हमसाया आसमान का वो संतरी हमारा वो पासबा हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्ता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा गोदी में खेलती है इसकी हजारों नदियाँ गोदी में खेलती है इसकी हजारों नदियाँ रश के जिला हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा, हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा। मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर रखना, मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर रखना। हिंदी है हम, हिंदी है हम, हिंदी है हम, वतन है हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा, हिंदू सीता हमारा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा।
May I now humbly request my Lord the Honorable Chief Justice Sri Dhiraj Singh Thakur ji to deliver his Lordship's message on this blissful occasion.
My esteemed sister and brother judges, former honorable judges of this court, Mr. D. Srinivas, Learned Advocate General, Mr. K. Chidambaram, President of the AP High Court Advocates Association, Mr. N. Dwarkanath Reddy, Chairman, Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. K. Lakshmi Narayana, Public Prosecutor, Mr. E. Sambasiva Pratap, Additional Advocate General, law officers, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, registrars, judicial officers, officers and staff of the High Court, members of the print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. My heartiest greetings to all of you on India's 78th Independence Day. I also extend my best wishes and greetings to all Indians in different parts of the globe who, though far and distant from their soil, share a sentiment of being proud Indians. On this momentous day, first and as always, we remember all those freedom fighters whose zeal, dedication and commitment brought all Indians together to the cause of independence under conditions of colonial domination, servitude and denial of civil and political liberties. They were undaunted and challenged the colonial masters with courage and resilience, raising the slogan of Swaraj or self-rule as a birthright for the Indians. In the history of the freedom struggles of the world, it is not easy to find examples comparable to India, where peaceful methods of non-violence, boycott and non-cooperation shook the roots of the colonial empire and won freedom for the teeming millions. It is to all those great men and women, many of them unsung and unknown, who fought in the name of freedom of India, that we express our deep gratitude. Their patriotism and nationalist fervor will be a guiding inspiration for the generations of Indians to come. On this occasion, the nation also honors and pays solemn homage to those soldiers in uniform who made supreme sacrifices in the service of the country, defending our borders, maintaining vigil, or suffering the scars of war and conflict. These brave hearts and also the veterans have earned our nation's everlasting gratitude for the price they have paid in defense of the unity and integrity of this country. We salute them all. Their saga of heroism and valor not only touches the soul of the nation but also goes a long way in fostering an idea of an India that has to be strong, stable and invincible against all odds and challenges. For the people of India, August 15, 1947 was a historic moment when we made a tryst with destiny to build an India of our dreams. The choices that we made in favor of our parliamentary democracy and institutions of governance have withstood the test of time for over a period of 77 years. Evidently, our spirit of constitutionalism and democracy is experienced in our ability to rule and govern post-independence has been well earned through a long and arduous process of trials and tribulations dating back to the freedom struggle when the Indians fought at every step for basic human rights and civil liberties, including the freedom of speech, expression, political representation or franchise. Therefore, nothing is more sacred for the people of India than the Constitution, which is the gift by the Indians for the Indians. It is also one of the most empowering constitutions of the world, which promises to ensure equality, justice, and freedom for all its citizens. A major impediment in the achievement of these goals has been sought to be overcome by declaring the right to education as a fundamental right, and its structure is redesigned to enable citizens to have access to quality education and play a role in transforming social institutions. India's vision of an inclusive society at the very outset was spelt out in the form of fundamental principles of the Constitution, which have been interpreted and defined comprehensively to ensure inclusion of the disadvantaged, backward, and underprivileged segments of the society in socio-economic growth, upliftment, and capacity building process. Child rights, juvenile justice, and women empowerment are milestones on the road to the inclusion for all. It is heartening to know that independent India's experiment with democracy has not failed us. Rather, it has grown and accumulated multiple shades and dimensions, including the processes of devolution and democratization of power at local and village level. People have invested their faith and confidence in the democratic institutions of election, parliament, and judiciary, and asserted their citizenship rights to this effect. Increasing voter turnout of women and youth in elections are clear indicators of this endorsement of democracy and republicanism. India remains committed to the fulfillment of its promised goals of justice and equality for all. Across the country, judicial system is in the process of overcoming hurdles that deny or delay access to justice for common people. Public interest litigation, when invoked genuinely, addresses issues of concern, while alternative dispute resolution mechanisms and digital technology are positive developments in the justice delivery system. Andhra Pradesh, although a relatively new state, has a rich historical and cultural heritage. Sincere attempts are underway to build infrastructure in the judiciary so that the justice delivery system functions effectively even in the remotest corners of the state. The idea of India is inseparable from diversity of its culture, where multiple regions, languages, and ethno-religious groups are interwoven in a common thread. It is this spirit of unity in diversity that India cherishes and is determined to preserve in every possible way. Indeed, India has a global presence today with a fast-growing economy, technological advancement, and a vibrant electoral democracy. But our timeless holistic traditions like yoga and meditation and inner healing, well-being and regeneration are our gift to the world with the universal resonance of the principle of non-violence. India faces challenges both from within as well as outside, be it poverty, illiteracy, public health care, cyber crimes, cross-border terrorism, climate change, or natural calamities. But the nation moves on combating these challenges. For all Indians, Independence Day is therefore a day of affirmation and resolution to hold hands and collectively work to be responsible, law-abiding citizens, to honor the Constitution, respect the symbols of national pride, and uphold the dignity, sovereignty, and unity of the country. Jai Hind.
We humbly express our gratitude and thanks to the Honorable Chief Justice for his Lordship's valuable Independence Day message. We extend our humble gratefulness to my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, for taking personal attention in guiding us throughout this Independence Day function, upholding the glorious occasion. We thank the Honorable Chief Justice, all the Honorable Judges, Honorable former Judges, and the family members of their Lordships for their gracious presence. We also extend our thankfulness to the Learned Advocate General, Chairman Bar Council, and President AP High Court Advocates Association, learned senior advocates, registrars, judicial officers, staff members, police personnel, print and electronic media for having attended this celebration and making the event a memorable one. We are all glad that the students of the Government Music College Vijayawada joined us to the High Court and taking part in this celebration. Prior to conclusion, it is a time for national anthem by the students of the Government Music College, and may I request the dignitaries to rise for the national anthem.
मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचलय तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
In the permission of my Honorable Chief Justice, may I declare that the Independence Day celebration is complete. Now I request the Honorable Judges, family members and learned senior advocates to have their refreshments arranged in the Judges' Lounge in the second floor of the main building, and for the rest, the refreshments are arranged in the ground floor of the High Court building. Thank you.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని ఉద్దేశించి మన ప్రీతం నాయకులు